Hey everybody, it's me again, Andre, reporting live here on LinkedIn. It's Pat Mara with making this video. So this video is long overdue, but we're here. I have noticed I had on some Chase swag. I actually interned there last year. So today I'm rocking my all Google everything. And I just wanted to introduce myself for anybody who hasn't been keeping up with me or doesn't really know about my journey. So I started at IIT in 2014, graduated in 2018 with a bachelor's in computer science. All throughout your time there, your matriculation during college, you have different, projects. You contribute to open source. They have a lot of hackathons. They have a lot of meetups. They have a lot of groups for the students. And it wasn't until my senior year that I really got heavily involved with extracurriculars. Because freshman, sophomore, junior year, I would just come there for classes and then I would go home or go to work because I was actually working full time. So I couldn't even be involved in a lot of the events even if I wanted to. But as I started applying for colleges, my college advisor told me that in order to stand out on my applications, I need to start, joining some more clubs, joining some more meetups, and getting more involved. So I went to one of their event fairs, and I just basically signed up for everything. I signed up for the robotics team. I signed up for the MLIIT, which is machine learning, pretty cool group. And through that, I just became a more social person. I've always been an introvert. It really helped me to really get outside of myself and expose me to being around more people. Your senior year, they have what is iPro Day. iPro Day is the culmination of everything that you learned throughout your time at IIT. They have different tracks for people who are in technology. So you have the tech background, but you're in an education vertical, you're in a medical vertical, you're in a tech vertical, you're doing cloud engineering, software engineering, whatever, data science, whatever. My vertical was fintech. Fintech is the intersection of finance and technology. So with fintech, you would traditionally go on to working for a large bank as a software engineer. So for somebody who does fintech, at an iPro Day, Chase was the sponsor for my iPro Day. So my capstone project, the capstone project is your final project that you work towards, and it shows everything that you learned so far. So you have projects on your GitHub, you have open source projects, you have stuff in your portfolio. Your capstone project shows off like everything that you learned. So I made a mobile application for, I want to say, college age students like me to learn about assets, debit, credit, IRA, student loans, Fannie Mae, how to apply for it, how to get Social Security, all of those things that I was learning about and that I wish I knew about earlier. So they love my project. And the whole time as I'm working on the project, I'm communicating with Chase's stakeholders, their product managers that actually work there. And that was a beautiful connection that I made while I was there. And they purposely team you up with a corporate sponsor because they want you to start networking and start, building those connections. That's how they recruit for the companies. They sponsor the projects at the colleges, going to the career fairs in order to find people that they can eventually recruit as interns. So I have some materials on my my GitHub if you want to see it. I did have to take it down though because all of it is proprietary and it's actually used right now as part of their onboarding, which is pretty cool. It was written mostly in Python. There's some Java, JavaScript, NoSQL database, very complicated stuff. And a lot of it I kind of just, learned on my own, just watching videos. That's actually the best way to learn how to code, is just to have a project and watch someone else do it and kind of build on top of it. There was a library that I used called Pygame, which is a very great library. I used some pandas, some anacondas, which is like, Python, they have different machine learning libraries as well. Matplotlib, in order to find, the vectors for the coordinates that, your avatar would have to go through these different levels. So working at Chase was awesome. They're one of the largest banks in the world, and I was on a cross-functional rotational team, which means that I got exposed to all of their different departments. So I got to see how accounting worked. I got to see how product works. I got to see how marketing works. I got to see the finance side. I got to see the human resources side, sales, operations, everything. It was amazing. Graphic design, everything. Great experience for my resume, and that really set me up, because being able to be at such a large company, still in college, and being exposed to how a massive corporation that makes billions of dollars was amazing. And not only that, but they have what you call an annual stakeholders meeting, which is where all of their biggest investors come and they talk about, what's going to happen in their next quarter, next year, where they're going to invest their money and where the growth of the company is. So being able to literally walk into a room with billionaires and decision makers and being able to sit down with them and contribute my own ideas as to, okay, this is what I think we should do. That's really great. Jamie Dimon, he's the CEO there. Got to meet him. He's a great guy. Lori Beer, she's pretty cool. Adam Cortez, he's the one that I shouted out yesterday. He actually gave me the shirt and the cap that I was wearing in my last video. So after Chase, I was thinking about what did I wanted to do next. It was like a 4-month contract, so it was a project based. So I had to think about, okay, what am I going to do next? I have this really great company on my resume, and I've been freelancing for years, working out of 1871, trying to do my own startup entrepreneurial thing. So I interned at Google Next. Shouts to Sally Henderson. She actually gave me this gold coin, as you can see. Got some swag from there. Even got this notebook and the cap. So it's like Google everywhere in here right now. So Google, they started in a garage by Larry Page and Sergey Brin. One of their first employees was Susan Wojcicki. She's now the CEO of YouTube. So long time ago, back in high school, which is, I want to say 2009, I was heavy on YouTube. Heavy on YouTube. Watching different music videos, watching Kanye West, watching Drake, back when rap was still cool. It wasn't any mumble rap like it is now. But I had my own channel, and I would study the algorithms, and I would see how all the different YouTube videos, how they would trend, why they would trend. I would put up my own videos and do what I call A/B testing. I would look at all the different tags and edit them to see, okay, if I put emojis here, if I put different copy, if I use different words, if I use different tags, if I use different titles, if I use a different cover photo, would this increase or decrease my amount of views? So I did so much A/B testing back in the day, because my goal was to have the biggest, best channel on YouTube. But a lot of my content had music on it, like in the background playing. Like I said, Kanye, Drake, all the most popular songs. in the day. So that's a major reason why they blocked me and they took me down. I got the attention of the people at YouTube because my channel was so popular, and I was actually taking, you know, other people's music videos and cutting them and editing them and creating my own fan-made videos as well, putting them on my channel to get even more views, to get people to see it. So anytime a new song will come out, and it went viral. It got hundreds, thousands of views. Long story short, my YouTube channel got blocked. But that was a very good, I want to say, experiment where I learned how to use the algorithms in my favor to see, you know, what people liked, what they didn't like. I was able to, all throughout high school and college, be able to get a pretty decent side hustle just getting money off AdSense and AdWords. So I carried that over into Facebook and LinkedIn and all my other social media platforms, really just, you know, studying and analyzing these different algorithms, and not even my own videos, but like other people's videos too, to really see, you know, okay, why did this video get so many views? You know, why do people like Mark Pillier so much? Why do people like Ariana Grande so much? Why do people like Rihanna so much? What is it? What images, what motifs did she say that really engages people? And I would take that and use that and sort of think about, you know, how the science of, you know, going viral and being popular and being an influencer. And now I can actually, you know, say that I am an influencer myself, even though I had that failed experiment, you know, on YouTube. Continue to fool around, you know, still editing videos, still, you know, doing some design work, still working with, you know, local startups. Local startups are always hiring because they only have like 2 or 3 people just doing everything. And if you can really make those connections to get in a local startup, like I said, and they blow up, the return on your investment and the equity that you can get as like one of the first employees is amazing. Like Groupon started here in Chicago, Cameo started here in Chicago. Those are all multi-million-dollar companies now. Continuing, you know, to learn more skills, get into web development. I'm always having different side hustles. I went to Columbia College for art school. People needed portfolios for their websites. They needed graphic design. I taught myself Photoshop. I taught myself Illustrator. I taught myself basic HTML and CSS. And just, you know, constantly building on top of that. Wanted to create my own applications because I wasn't even satisfied with a lot of the templates that I had seen on, you know, GoDaddy and Squarespace. So thinking about how can I customize this CSS and start building my own from scratch, doing, you know, Bootstrap and things like that, doing JavaScript. I applied as to this program called Grow with Google. Google has different pathways into their company. You can be an intern, you can be a fellow, you can be a partner, you can be a full-time employee, you can be a part-time employee, or you can be a third-party contractor. So I started out as an intern with a scholarship that, you know, allowed me to take a bunch of their own classes online in order to learn full stack development. Full stack development is basically the combination of UX, which is user experience, UI, which is user interaction, everything that a person sees when they go on a mobile application or a website, HTML, CSS, that's the basic backbones of a website, the programming language. Java, JavaScript, you know, that's more so the widgets and the modules that you add to customize your website, make it more interactive, make it more engaging. as well as, you know, a database so you can have users that can log in, and eventually even learning cloud, which is, you know, a remote storage system that you can use. You're using somebody else's server to store all your information remotely. Google Cloud has cloud. It's called GCP. Amazon Web Services, Azure for Microsoft. A lot of open source cloud services, hundreds of them, but those are the big three. You also have, you know, Oracle, IBM. They're trying to compete as well, but, you know, obviously Google Cloud is the winner, and you can ask anybody and they will tell you the same thing. A typical day for me is mostly doing automated test scripts, QA, quality assurance, going through code reviews, going through stand-ups. You meet with your team and you talk about all the different features that you want to implement. You know, I like to do Rubik's Cubes when I'm bored. It keeps me mentally sharp and engaged. There's a lot of different tech positions that you can have. It really depends on your skill set and what you're good at. I've really been able to upskill a lot, so I can basically get into any tech role right now. But you have QA, quality assurance, so you're mostly looking at code reviews and doing automated test scripts. When I was working with Chase, they had what you call Cucumber and JUnit. Google has Go with Mockito as well. Different things like that. I would say that I'm interested in tech because even when I was a little kid, it wasn't enough for me, you know, to play games on my computer. I needed to know why this Game Boy is working. I needed to dissect it. I needed to go through all the folders and be able to troubleshoot it and see if I can even create my own hello world and display it on the console. I love doing hackathons. I love to speak. I think that being able to share my knowledge to somebody who, especially a minority, because as a black person, there aren't many people in this field, to show them like this is something that you can do, you know, as a career. Pathways, as I said, is you can start out as an intern or a fellow. A fellow is like more so of a postgraduate. Intern is someone who is still in school, still in college. You have to show them your transcripts. You have to have exceptional grades to get in, you know, a company like that. The Big Four, Chase is one of the big banks, EY, Accenture, Deloitte. You have to be very good in school. And that's why I said before, I started going to so many events and hackathons and clubs, because I really wanted to be able to boost up my resume and really stand out. So it's not like I just had the academic side, but, you know, I'm in student government, and I'm hosting my own meetups and things of that nature. And it really helped me, you know, develop executive and leadership skills and soft skills and speaking in public. You know, last summer, I opened for the CMO of Salesforce, Stephanie Buscemi, and the COO, Andy Kofoid. Met the CEO. He's a great guy. Great guy. The CEO of Google. He used to go to IIT. I met him as well. That was a awesome experience. You know, being able to go to all of their different conferences, IO, their different summits, and be able to prepare for this career. You really have to focus on education and get as many certifications as possible and have a clear career map of where you want to go and what you want to do. For me, it's like I want to do everything. So it's like I just need to soak up as much knowledge as I can and constantly be learning. So like I said, I got into graphic design, I got into cloud, I got into UX and UI. I did front end, I did back end, Oracle, even a little bit of sales, doing Trailhead and doing CRM. CRM is the content resource management. That's what a lot of salespeople use. It's an all-in-one sort of platform. That's what we use in order to track our different sales goals and with our customers. For education and training, I would say that if you want, it depends on how much money you want to go and where you see your career trajectory. I recommend getting a bachelor's degree. You don't need a bachelor's degree, and most companies don't require it, but it's still good to have one because that's just an advantage that you have over other people that don't have one. And if you do have the degree, statistically, you're on pace to make more money over the entirety of your career. So it's like it's a return on investment. You have a bachelor's degree, you're bound to make anywhere from $40,000 to $80,000 a year. If you have a master's degree, you're talking about maybe $60,000 to $100,000 maybe maximum. If you have a postdoctorate, a PhD, an advanced master's, multiple master's degrees, you're definitely looking at six figures. So it depends on how much time you're willing to put into your own and invest in your own education, and if you can see a return on that investment. And the certifications as well. Certifications are very important because they show that you have the skills and knowledge to utilize these different tools and technologies. Technology right now is booming. And as we can see with COVID-19, a lot of jobs that were there are being phased out. The entire hospitality industry disrupted. The entire HR industry disrupted. Recruiters, your job is not going to exist in 5 years. They have what you call automatic tracking system. And the automatic tracking system is a robot that can scan your resume for different keywords. So they're looking at things like bachelor's degree, how long you've been in school, like in terms of the time span and the years, what jobs you worked at, and they match that against the job description. So the hack that I used actually to get into both companies was to look at the job description and make sure that I had all the qualifications to perform each of those tasks. Going back and getting those certifications, getting that experience, and then reflecting that back on my resume through all my various projects and achievements. To be really big in events, and that's something that because of COVID-19, a lot of events have been put on hold. A lot of jobs have been furloughed, so I really had to take a major pivot. And luckily, I had that, cloud background that I can always fall back on. I really enjoy the events more because it's more client facing and you really get to meet with people more. But, there's a lot of different roles and within an agile team, and that's what most Fortune 50 companies use is an agile team. They also have Kanban, which is like basically you're just posting Post-it notes everywhere and you're just moving them around. I don't want to get into more specifics, but I actually prefer agile more. You have the business analysts, they support all the roles within the tech company, as well as, analyze all the product requirements that can meet the client's needs. You have the Scrum Master. The Scrum Master removes like any of the barriers that sort of hinder the success of the team. And they facilitate all the meetings and all the conversations and make sure that everybody gets involved. They take on sort of a more sort of lead role, I want to say, but they're not technically the leader because an agile team has a very flat hierarchy and it's very democratized. So everybody has a say and everybody is accountable to each other. There's no like boss, everybody plays an equal part in the team on an agile team. And that's what makes an agile team agile is that, they can move much faster than a regular team because they're not dealing with so much, bureaucracy and so much, middle management and all of that, and having to get, approved for things, which makes the whole process take longer. They can just, push out all their deliverables, faster and quicker. You have DevOps. DevOps is, an amalgam of development and operations. So you have the developers and the product managers, product owners working together on a team rather than in separately on silos and passing work off to each other. Because if they're sitting there working together on the same team and doing DevOps, they can do the work much quicker than, okay, you have this work and I finish it and then I pass it off to you. They don't like it, so then they got to go back and reapprove it and going back and forth and back and forth. If you're constantly collaborating, it just makes, the entire process quicker. I do miss going to a lot of, conferences, like I said, but really miss being in the office. I'll give you a fun fact about Google. They have an L car on the top floor of the building, and it's the only Blue Line train car in Chicago that has been remodeled into an office space. And it's actually one of the best places in the world to be. It's literally like Disney World for somebody who's in technology. They have cold storage because the West Loop used to be the meat market district. So it was like a giant freezer. So you can see like the ice on the walls, but it's not really ice, it's just made to look like that because that's where it started. The picture that I posted a few days ago, that's the garage that Larry Page and Sergey Brin started the original Google out of. That's amazing. They started out of garage. Now it's a multi-billion-dollar company, trillions. G Suite, Cloud, they're into everything. They have what you call micro kitchens, which are like small kitchens on every single floor. Most companies, they have like one cafeteria, but Google, they have a cafeteria on every floor to really produce productivity. So you never be like 10 feet away from food. You get your food, and you can go back to your desk. They got like dorms there, so you can basically just live there. And they also have like all kinds of hackathons all the time. People working together on different projects. It's a pretty great company. And I would just say, just work hard, network, go to a lot of conferences, do really good in school, and hopefully, you can be lucky and get into a really great company as well.